All right.
Hey, Kurt.
Um, how's it going, Mitch?
It's going pretty good. How's it going with you?
It's going well. Um, so, to our audience, I'm going to say welcome and thanks for joining us for another Make Guitar podcast. It's the Father's Day edition, and um, Mitch is going to go have Father's Day dinner. So, we're going to keep it short. We're going to make this a express edition.
Yeah,
And today, I think we'll talk about the shoegaze
shoegaze.
genre and
Right?
what does that mean for the world of effects.
Delay, reverb.
Delay, reverb, fuzz, um, but it means a lot more. I think there's a lot of like total signal destroying pedals out there. Um, you turned me onto this channel. What are they called? Some English man, American woman. They are strictly into like the shoegaze thing. Like they remind me
Pedal
quite
pair.
pedal pairs. Yeah,
Yeah.
pedal partners,
Okay, pedal
pedal
pair.
partners.
Nice.
Yeah, and they're you can tell they're really into My Bloody Valentine.
They have a pretty good selection of pedals, and they do these weird demos. Actually, I like the video that they do because they do some video editing. So they add some
Hmm.
After Effects or some kind of like post production to the thing, and it's pretty good.
Unlike us,
Yeah. Well, I think they do it for, I'm just guessing that they do it for a living or that's part of, I don't know, maybe they get paid to
it,
do
it
that.
I think yeah, I think if you like if you're in a band and it's like maybe you don't have like really like a high cost of living, um, and you're young and you just like you're really into your music and the 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 scene, then creating content and just having that be like an accessory to your music. I think that's a great way to make a living. Um,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I don't know how much people make making videos on YouTube, but and did you see Trogly's new house?
No.
Yeah, he moved into some giant house where he's got like facilities for like like he's soundproofing this giant room so that he can do like his demos in there and
Wow.
so I don't think he's got a job other than like buying and selling guitars and doing YouTube videos.
He must make a living on that.
Yeah, I think
Kind of
so.
weird.
I mean, he
It's kind of
buys and
weird
sells a lot
somebody
of
makes a
guitars.
living on YouTube, you know?
Yeah,
And
yeah. I've seen
he's not
other
Logan
people
Paul.
that I follow. I'm sorry. Oh yeah, yeah.
Not
He's not
Logan
Logan.
Paul, right?
Right. Yeah. Thank goodness we don't need more of that.
Yeah, well, whatever. He's getting by. He does some
Hmm.
pretty good videos. I saw one the other day. It's just kind of weird though, because he was doing these videos like in the middle of the week because he tries to do a video every day, and so in the middle of the week, obviously he runs out of time. Like there, you can only do so much. So he does these videos where he just looks at reverb listings and talks about them.
Oh, Trogly.
Yeah,
I
you know,
thought you were talking about Logan Paul now.
the Logan Paul.
Like, what's he looking at reverb listings for?
Well, he's just trying to find someone that will punch him in the
Yeah.
thing, right? You know. Yeah, anyway, yeah, so yeah, the shoegaze thing is kind of a good sound. You know, let's get back to regular
Yeah.
topic, right?
Back to our regularly scheduled program. Um, yeah. So I was watching one of their videos about like some crazy um, just completely tone destroying sounds that they were getting from these pedals. Um, and I think they might have even had like there was one pedal that they had maybe had some input on. Um, I don't remember, but um, it got me started. Well, it got me thinking about like what is the shoegaze sound and how is it made. So I started looking at Kevin Shields' rig, Kevin Shields of My Bloody Valentine, and I found a pretty good list. And I didn't write down all of them, but um, there's things like the Vorg warp sound, the Devi Ever Shoegazer Fuzz, the Digitech Whammy, they was big on that. The ZVEX Lo-Fi Loop Junkie, the Love Tone Meatball, the Death by Audio Octave Clang, the Roger Mayer Octavia, the September Sound Envelope Filter Fuzzwa,
Hmm.
and the Devi Ever Truly Beautiful Torns Speaker. The Devi Ever Godzilla Fuzz, Devi Ever Dream Mangler, and the Catalan Bred Ottava Magus. So that's a list of crazy sounding, pedal names that sound crazy, and the names kind of hint that they mangle your dreams and your tone,
Hmm.
your sound.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
kind of surprised I didn't really hear a reverb and a delay in there. He has like the lo-fi loop junkie is like a looper, so it's kind of like a delay, but it's
mhm.
different, right? You know, like I'm really actually surprised there. I'm kind of expecting reverb and delay on, in his sound, but maybe not,
Well, there might have been. I actually, like I said, I didn't write down all of
Oh, okay, yeah.
the effects that I used. I wrote down all the ones that where the names really intrigued me. Um, so like on this Mixdown Mag, which I think is where I got my list. Um, yeah, I mean, I think what I read was like most of most of what he used. So there's one called an MG. That's Echo, folks.
Oh, okay,
So
cool.
so that would be an Echo.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. He's got a lot of pedals from small manufacturers, like Devi Evers, a pretty small,
Mm-hmm.
like, you know, company, Though I think they outsource their pedals and other people can make them, you
Hmm.
know.
Okay.
There's kind of a controversy though, like totally surrounded with controversy. Like Devi Ever had this like idea for some kind of modular pedal thing that was on Kickstarter, and then they never came through with it. And then there was like a follow-up controversy where JHS produced a pedal. I forget which one, but it was supposed like a lot of people were saying it was kind of a clone of the Devi Ever pedal, but then they kind of like JHS Josh kind of says no, it's not. So that was like a controversy there, you know.
Hmm.
And I'm willing to bet there was more. For some reason, I remember more, but I can't remember it all right now. You know.
Well, he's no stranger to controversy.
Yes. But anyway, yeah, those sound pretty interesting. I feel like you could do a lot with just a little, like that guy Steve Hill. Remember, I sent you a video of him.
Mm-hmm.
He plays guitar by himself, and he's got like a drumstick like attached to the head of his guitar, and then he plays on stage with a hi-hat and a ride cymbal and a bass drum at his foot. And he's got a snare actually. I think he uses one foot for the snare, one foot for the bass drum, and then he hits the cymbal with the head of the guitar. And then on the guitar he has a gold foil pickup, but they're kind of flat, so you didn't have to route the guitar, but he just mounted it to the surface, and it covers the bass strings. And then he has a stereo out, and one of the channels goes to like an octave pedal, right? So he gets kind of a bass sound out of the first three strings, and then he plays with the other three strings, and he just plays with his fingers, right? And he's playing like the
Yeah. I mean,
bass drum, the snare drum, the hi-hat, and like bass and guitar on the guitar. He sounds pretty good. He's kind of
yeah,
amazing.
it's pretty impressive. I mean, I think his thumb is, he's playing a lot of bass on you know while playing the guitar with the
Yeah,
other
yeah, yeah, he
four
does. Yeah.
strings. He's making a lot of sound. It
Yeah,
just
he's
looks
pretty
funny.
amazing. It is pretty
That
kind
that
of a little weird looking, but he's pretty good at
It's
it.
like that hitting the cymbal with the headstock of his guitar is pretty funny.
Yeah, it's like he's doing the whole like body, like he's just moving everything.
Yeah.
He's pretty good though. Though the thing is that it seems like the music is kind of really geared to this like kind of blues kind of thing, right? You
Hmm.
know? Um, so it's all kind of in that same department. He plays a lot of slide too, you know. Yeah, he's pretty good though. I saw an interview with him and he kind of went over his rig with somebody and they talked about it. You know, he kind of described how it worked, you know. Right. And then I looked up a video of him playing live, you know, and it was pretty impressive, you know.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty impressive. I mean, to make that much sound on your own, it's that's a feat.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, like to talk about shoegaze again, like they make a lot of sound, but it's still, like kind of still takes a band to pull off that sound.
Yeah.
Like the thing about like My Bloody Valentine is this: they were really loud and they were this massive wall of sound,
Yeah.
and the which resulted in people like losing bowel control or actually
Really?
permanently losing hearing at their
That's
gigs.
not a an urban legend or something.
Apparently not. Apparently not. I mean, I didn't find any documented cases of like Sarah Smith on June 7th, 1992 or whatever. Like I didn't find anything like that, but
Okay. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, they got a good sound though, you know.
Hmm.
You know. You know what I was I what actually let me ask you this. So what are you listening to?
Well, another thing that kind of led me to this as a topic, I was
Yeah.
listening to um, I was listening to a band called Forest Bees from Berkeley, California.
Oh, cool. Local.
Yeah, and the recommendation actually came through. I was listening to another thing on Bandcamp, and you know how in Bandcamp they have the recommendations. That's the artist recommends, and it was a Canadian performer called Leathers, and it was kind of like pop goth, kind of like it was cool. It was like synth pop, but had a little gothy kind of a sound, and Leathers recommended Forest Bees. So
I'm gonna go look them
it's
up.
yeah, it's really cool. They list it like whoever the critic was who kind of rounded up the sound, said there was a little bit of shoegaze and a little dream pop, and I'm like, oh, that's what I like. So I clicked. I liked it. It was sort of like if you've ever heard of Beach House,
Yeah.
um, little beach house, and a little bit of that kind of slow dive,
Cool. I'm gonna go check this out. They're
shoegaze
they're
sound.
on Bandcamp.
Mm-hmm.
I'm totally sold. They're on Bandcamp.
Yeah, it's cool. I liked it. Um,
Nice.
I also did. I listened to the album that Slow Dive put out in 2017. Um, it sounds a lot like Slow Dive, and it's they still have that kind of dreamy,
Yeah, I haven't heard them. I'll have to
gauzy
I'll
sound.
have to go look them up and check them out.
Yeah, they're cool. I mean, they were there in the early '90s or whenever that was, when that scene sprouted up,
Yeah,
and they're still around today.
cool. I'm gonna go check them out and listen to the Forest Bees. I'm gonna put them on my Bandcamp list, you know. Yeah, I was listening
Awesome.
to Brent. I was talking to Brendan, and then he mentioned Soundgarden, and so then I was like, oh, I'm gonna go listen to some Soundgarden today. So I listened to Super Unknown.
Mm,
It's their album with like Black Hole Sun on it, right? So I
right.
don't really know a lot about Soundgarden, just a little bit. You know, I heard Black Hole Sun and maybe
Hmm.
another song. You know, they have a couple radio songs, right? But so I listened to the whole album today. It was pretty good, you know.
Yeah, they were a good band. Um,
Yeah,
I that song Black Hole Sun. It's a really good song. There's a
oh, yeah, it's pretty
cover
good.
of it by Chibo Mato,
Oh,
and I
huh.
really really like it. Like,
Oh, I got to hear that. I
uh,
like Chubamato.
yeah, I far prefer it to the original.
Yeah, I think I saw them play um at Amoeba Records one time.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Yeah, they played a couple songs. Like Amoeba would have bands in there, you know.
Hmm.
I don't know if they still do that, you know. If they do, I should go.
Um, yeah, I think they haven't because of COVID, but
Yeah,
yeah, they have been doing that, and they do that in L.A. as well
cool.
at the Amoeba there.
Yeah,
I learned about that. I was watching a a weird show, like a VH1 show, where they reunite bands from the '80s, and they get everybody back together, and the Motels were playing at Amoeba. Maybe that wasn't in the video or in the movie. I can't remember, but yeah, the Motels did a reunion concert at the Amoeba in L.A.
nice. Yeah. So I listened to the Super Unknown today, and then I took a walk and I walked through the park and I listened to that, and then on the way back I listened to Secret Treaties by Blue Oyster Cult because we were talking about Blue Oyster Cult the other night. So
Mm, right.
on Friday, so that I thought I'm gonna listen to Secret Treaties, right? And it's got actually a couple good songs on it. It's got like the Flaming Telepaths, the Harvester of Eyes, Astronomy, and ME 262, Dominance and Submission. Yeah,
All
it's
right.
actually got a couple. I think all those are pretty good songs, you know.
Okay, I'll have to check it out. I've only listened to their album that had like Don't Fear the Reaper and Godzilla and all that stuff. That's a
Yeah,
different album, right?
yeah. I think Don't Fear the Reapers on Agents of Fortune, and then it has that one has ETI on it, Extraterrestrial Intelligence, which is a great song too. Actually, I like that song. That one's really good, you know. So anyway, so I listened to that. It was pretty good listening, you know. Kind of inspiring, you know. So what are
Right
you
on.
working on this week?
Um, well, I've been working on getting my synth setup going. I bought a what do you call it? A Korg Volca Beats machine. Oh,
Nice.
and I'm gonna debut this because I want to know what this sounds like. I'm gonna debut the uh, the mixer. So can you hear it?
Yeah.
Okay. So I've got this synced with my Micro Freak, and I won't turn that on right now because it'll make a lot of noise. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's like I've got all of that running into the interface, so it's talking to the computer. So yeah, um, we'll be doing these shows with an
Yeah.
kind of enhanced formula from now
Yeah.
on.
Live audio.
Yeah, yeah. So be
Hey, I got,
afraid.
I got a question. So the Volca, like when you sync it with the Microfreak, does the Microfreak have kind of a MIDI out, or is it like
Yeah.
a clock, like trigger out or something?
Well, the Micro Freak has a couple of different outs on it. It's got it's got a CV gate out. It's got a clock out. So that's what I'm using, and it's got MIDI, of course, and it's got USB.
Okay. So you're syncing
And
it with the clock out to the Volca.
yes,
Okay, cool. So that's kind of like analog. So you could sync that to any other analog gear.
that's right. Yeah,
Yeah, that's cool. Nice.
yeah.
Is
So
it does
this
does does the Microfreak have a clock in?
yes, it does.
Oh, okay, cool. So that's great. So if you had like if you were jamming with other analog synth, then anybody could have the master clock. Because sometimes like, it might be good to have the master clock be some other device,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Right,
um, like rather than just from the Microfreak, right?
right. And I could have done this the other way around, but the yes, you can see the Volca. It has a really limited display, so
Yeah.
like I don't think that you can see like like your BPM or anything like that.
Yeah.
This is basically just 4 or 5 characters, so you can see I can switch the preset this way, and you can save it's got a function button. But yeah,
Cool.
it's
Yeah. Well, I was just thinking like if you jammed with other synth stuff like I have a little thing here. It's funny you should mention the clock because um like I was just tinkering with the synthesizer and I put in I have a Make Noise Tempi, which is like a 6 channel clock, but it's kind of cool because you can make each of the 6 channels at a different tempo, or they can be like a division or multiplication of one of the channels, right?
that's
And then
very cool.
it has a little knob, and as you turn the knob, you can have like I forget how many it's got, maybe 15 or 16 different like beats that it remembers. So you can program like 15 different beats and then just turn the knob and pick one of the beats, right? And then it has 6 channels out, so you can have those 6 channels. Like you could feed one to the Volca, the Micro Freak, and then 4 other devices.
Right. So
Or you,
if you were the band leader, you could actually like you could screw up the other musicians by setting their clock to a different, you know, different beat.
yeah, absolutely, yeah, right. Yeah, this I just showed this thing too because I was looking for the Tempe because I wanted to use it, but I couldn't find it, and then I dug this out of the closet, and then I found it right afterwards, right? But I found this thing in the closet. This is a Temps Util, and it's a clock. It also has 6 channels out, and then it has like trigger and CV input, and then you can use this little menu up here and the knobs, to program what each channel does. So you can set the tempo, you can make it a division of one of the other channels, you can give it some swing. It has a bunch of options that you can use. You can set it to be I forget. I think you can also like one of the channels can also be a only one of them, although channel number 4 can be a sequencer. You know. So anyway, so like these, it's kind of cool like clocks like that. So if you have a clock, like if you just have 2 devices and one of them clocks, that's okay. But as soon as you add more devices, then it's kind of cool to have clocking options. So you can set one device to be like a multiple or some division of the master clock.
Right. Yeah, I know. I'm trying to like hold off my gas, but I'm already thinking about what's the next device going to be, and what am I going to do with it, and how am I going to who I'm going to enslave to who, that kind of thing.
Who am I going to enslave? Speaking of enslave, I was thinking your audio overlords would be a great band name, and they would enslave all of you.
Slaves to the rhythm.
Yes, slaves to the rhythm. Oh, I got to put that on my song list.
Yeah, it's a good cover for audio overlords.
Yeah, audio slave is already taken though.
That's true.
You
Yeah.
know. Yeah. So anyway, so I was working on some songs. I got Brendan to help me out with some drums on one of my tracks. It was in 6/4, and he's like, "Hey, I'll take a stab at making a 6/4 drum beat." And it kind of good. It was kind of good. It was a little better than the drums I was getting out of GarageBand, which kind of sounded more like a waltz than kind of a rock beat. It just didn't understand 6/4 the way that I was thinking it, which is more like a 4/4 beat with 2 extra beats on the end. They were doing it more in like 3/4 or something, right?
Right.
You
Yeah,
know,
I mean, GarageBand is pretty cool and it's pretty versatile, and it's a really great way to just get started making music. But when it comes to like the included content, it is a little bit like getting one of those Casio keyboards from Target, and it's like it's got like one sound for every genre. Like, oh, it's got rock, it's got pop, it's got funk, it's got waltz, it's got jazz, it's got, you know what I mean?
I don't know. I'm not gonna be so hard on GarageBand because like the regular beats, like the 4/4 beats, are awesome. Like it has a good range of stuff. And then it has
Well,
that
that's true.
software drummer, so you can kind of program fills and then like choose different beats. You can choose which instruments it plays. You can kind of sync it to one of the tracks. So it tries to hit the kind of the accents right.
Right. Well, I mean, yeah, it's great if you're in the wheelhouse, but like as soon
Yeah.
as you go into like if you want to do something kind of like Latin or something like that, it's not it doesn't have a lot of diversity.
Oh yeah, I don't know about that. I'm just like on this 4/4 beats are pretty strong.
No, it's
Like
great for rock. It's really great for rock.
Yeah, it's got some things in it that are kind of like hard to understand, like the swing, like I could never get it to sound right. And then I found somebody on the internet and they were like, "Oh, you got to switch it to 16th notes because the
Mm,
swing can be on eighth notes or 16." And when I put it on eighth notes, like that's the default setting. Like it always swings kind of in a weird way. It's like too strong, you know?
okay.
So, there is some stuff in there that's kind of weird, or that you just have to tinker with, and then like I said, with the 6/4 beat, I could never get it to sound quite right. But then Brendan made some drums and like I was liking Brendan's drums, but then what I wanted is like, but he gave me the drums as like a whole track, right? It's not the software drummer, so I can't edit it, but it's like
Mm-hmm.
I need like, instead of the same beat all the way through, I need like a stripped down beat and then like another beat, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right, I need like two versions for the verse or something, right? Instead of like, because he gave me like two versions. He gave me kind of a verse and a chorus beat, but I need like another one where like maybe it adds an instrument or adds a cymbal on the second verse.
Right. And what did he use to do it? Did he use the deluge?
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah,
Okay.
I've never used that. I don't even know what that is.
It is a um, it's kind of like a synthesizer, sequencer, sampler, all in one. It's a pretty hardcore device. I can't remember who makes it, but yeah,
Yeah,
it's got it's a big grid of buttons, um,
cool.
and yeah,
I think I saw it. I think he sent me a picture of it.
yeah, it's super cool.
Yeah, yeah. So anyway, so I was working on this other thing too. Here, I'll play you a quick track. So this is my song I'm working on. Right, needs some work still. Um, Let me see here. So I got this, I kind of came back to this, I kind of got this mostly working and then I put it aside for a while and kind of got it back out again. And then I went through and like I went through and added this synth track in the background. It's just kind of a drone. And then I redid the guitar tracks. I think there's a couple gaffes in there I got to fix, but it's got some bass. Let me actually turn on the bass here too.
Pretty raucous.
Yeah, you think that sounds okay?
Yeah, yeah, it sounds real good. Um,
So that's kind of like the intro riff, and then here's kind of like the verse. And then I got like a chorus riff. Like I just repeated like the verse twice. And then put a riff on the end.
are you gonna put some vocals on there?
Maybe. And then here's like the chorus, right? Yeah, there's kind of a flub there. Yeah, I did like a whole bunch of takes, like just me playing the whole guitar thing through until I got it pretty much right.
No, I think your technique for recording it is solid. Just like keep replacing tracks until it's up to snuff.
Yeah, and it goes back to the next part, right? So so anyway, so I got that kind of, that's like, I'm gonna call that one almost done. It needs kind of a mix down and maybe like fix a couple small things. So I'm trying to make some progress. So like,
Hmm.
at some point you just have to call something done. So I'm gonna call that one like almost done. That's like almost done.
Hmm. Well, it's good. It's like almost done.
Yeah.
It's good for the morale.
Yeah. Well, I was just kidding because I'm like, so at some point you have to call it done, and then I'm like, well, it's not done. You know, like,
Yeah.
yeah. So I got that, and then I got a couple other songs too. So, you know, um, so those are maybe I'll debut them later, but that's going to be song number three on my album,
All right.
right?
What's the album called?
It's called The Obelisk.
Oh, that's the obelisk. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That one's called Through the Void. So the story is like, they found an obelisk. So it's kind of like 2001, it's on
Hmm.
the moon, a black stone. And then they realize it's got some kind of uh signal, right? So I think I have a song called Communication, something like that. And that's going to be the obelisk is speaking to something, and then through the void is like they travel to this location in space, time where the signal is coming from,
Oh, very cool. I like the
Yeah, yeah.
story.
It's conceptual.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a rock opera,
Yeah.
science
I
fiction
can't wait to
rock
see
opera.
the album cover.
Oh yeah, yeah. I have a couple sketches. I'm gonna break those out just for fun. We'll
Yeah.
do it next time, but I have a couple sketches in my notebook. Like I have a couple ideas. I'll show you the ideas I have, and you can say which one you think is maybe worth doing.
All right. Yeah. Maybe we can have a contest or something like that.
Sure, yeah,
Um,
yeah, we should do that. We should just like make the whole album, like have an album contest. So I put that like I kind of wanted to do more like stoner doom metal, but it sounds more like stoner rock, like 80s kind of like, kind of like 80s, 90s rock.
well, I mean, when it comes to music, sometimes the songs just go the way they want to go. Like if that's the vibe. Um, I mean,
Yeah.
you've always said that. Like if you have, you know, a guitar with one single coil pickup and hardtail bridge or something like that, just make it. Use that to make the music that you want to make. Don't
Yeah.
don't get distracted by like hunting for new gear.
Yeah. Well, I'm kind of an amateur at the recording thing, so I'm just, learning as I go. But you know what I was doing is was recording the guitar parts and then just playing the same part but on a different pickup. So I did it on the bridge and the neck pickup, and then I mixed those two signals and kind of panned one a little bit left and one a little bit right, and it kind of gives a bigger, fuller sound.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
but the guitar, I used the that guitar with those lace Illumitones on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I had done the same thing on another track with a different guitar, and I think it actually sounded better because the pickups had a wider range of sound. I don't know, they just sound a little bit different. So
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of good actually, to have a different guitar with different sounds on it, even if you're playing the same thing. Plus, you can
Right.
kind of
Right.
turn the track down a lot too. So it's just kind of like quieter. You got one guitar that's loud and one that's a little bit quiet with a little bit different tone to it.
Right.
Kind of sounds full.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think that's like it's a classic technique is recording the exact same thing with overdubs. Um,
Yeah. Yeah, that Tim Pierce guy, I remember seeing something with him and he was like, what I like to do is if I'm playing five chords, like I play it up an octave. So I do one guitar that's like playing on the E and A string, and then another guitar is playing on the D and G or the A and the D, you know.
Interesting. Oh wow. Okay.
So I was thinking I might do that on this track, maybe one of the guitars would play that. And I was thinking too, like I didn't play the whole song, but like I use the structure so it's like intro, verse, chorus, bridge, and then the bridge plays the intro again. And it actually sounds okay. I asked Brendan about that, and he was like, that sounds fine. I was thinking about changing it, but then he was like, it sounds fine. So I'm going to leave that. But I think when I do it the second time, instead of having the two guitars play in unison, one of the guitars will break off and play some riffage at the end of the intro riff.
Yeah. Why not? That'll be
Yeah, yeah,
great.
yeah. So that way it'll kind of break it up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, so that's a couple ideas. I'm going to try that and record those and see what it sounds like.
No, that's cool. I mean, all of that experience is going to just kind of add to your your toolbox of, like when you record the next songs, you'll have a bunch of ideas to try out,
Yeah. Yeah,
and a bunch of
hopefully, right?
experience with
Yeah.
certain techniques that work and others that don't.
Yeah. Yeah, so what have you been working on any music?
Um, I haven't been recording anything by myself right now. I've been playing some of the old what are we called? We had a band name, Big Top Five songs with Dan.
Oh, cool.
We're gonna work on that tonight.
Oh, cool.
Uh, yeah, it's gonna be a new stripped down version of the band. So yeah, maybe we'll record some versions with the Micro Freak.
Oh, yeah, that's
And
great.
I've been working on some songs with Brendan. Some of them you might know, and some of them are new. So
Oh, cool.
um, yeah, so continuing to do that.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, Brendan said he was going to send me some music for some feedback because I sent him a
oh,
couple
cool.
songs. So I was like, yeah, tell me what you think of these. I need some feedback, and then so he's like, I'll send you some songs, so we're going to maybe collaborate. I think it's good to like, kind of share ideas, it kind of motivates you,
Absolutely, yeah, yeah. I mean,
right?
working just in the dark by yourself is, I mean, there's there's never any pressure to complete anything because, no witnesses.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So anyway,
So
so I'm gonna work on that stuff. Yeah, you got to keep working, Kirk. We should like share some synth drones.
yeah,
I
yeah.
made a bunch of drones. Actually, that's kind of a thing, like, because that way I don't have to play the synthesizer. I just put it on like a note,
Mm-hmm.
right? It doesn't work for everything, but you can get like a little kind of background texture kind of thing. It's kind of good.
Yeah. Well, I'll admit I'm glad that I have a synthesizer with a keyboard on it, even though it's this weird like non, touch sensitive, or
Yeah,
it's not non-touch sensitive. They're not like
tactile.
velocity sensitive, but these are just like they're just like a depending on how hard you push down on the key,
Yeah, yeah,
your
nice.
your finger spreads out more, and
Yeah,
and then this thing is great. You see, you hear that,
yeah, nice. But it's
and you
not
can.
tactile, so it's not like you're pressing the key. That's you
Sorry, I just
know.
unplugged my headphones.
Does that have a delay or something?
All right, sorry about that.
Oh, it's okay. Hey, does
You were
that have
saying
like a delay on it or something?
what, the synthesizer?
Yeah. Is it still going?
No, it was the hold button.
Oh, okay, okay. Oh, it had some kind of sample and hold or something.
Yeah,
Oh, cool. Yeah, sample and hold's a great sound.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. The Microfreak is really expressive, and it has a lot of options. It has a lot of different oscillators and
cool. Yeah,
the arpeggiator.
you said it was like it had like Platts was the oscillator.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
like Platts. Platts is like a great oscillator. I have one in my synth, right? I have like a clone of Platts. It's not the actual Platts, but it's Platts, but in someone else made it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, like this. Somebody else made it.
Yeah, cool. So, do you got anything? Should we close out? Do you got anything else you want to cover?
Um, no, no. I think we're good. Let's just uh, if you have any thoughts about what is the shoegaze sound, um, put those in the comments below. Like, what is it that makes the shoegaze sound the shoegaze sound? If you're watching this
Yeah.
and you have something to say about that, um,
Oh man, I'm just gonna go head to the comments and say, I, I have a
you're gonna
few
start
things to
you're
say.
gonna start adding comments on this video.
Well, I just want to answer the question.
Okay, yeah, do it.
No, 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 I'm just kidding. I mean, I
Okay,
want to answer it in the comments.
all right,
Okay, cool.
all right. Well, happy Father's Day to all you dads out there, and yeah, we'll see you in the next one.
Okay, yeah, see you later.
All right, peace.